I'm overcome with joy and gratitude to be able to have a special opportunity like this. It's an extreme blessing, you know. Words can't explain it. I'm glad to be back on the West Coast, and I'm looking forward to playing with such a great organization.
This is a guy that's got me in a good mood the last couple days.
I think that's you. How you doing, Coach? Good to see you as well.
It's a team that is trying to grow at a fast rate and that's doing special things and doing it pretty early. A lot of young blood that's hungry to go out there and be their best and win games. You know, I'm not looking for anything selfishly. I just want to help my team whatever case I can to be able to win games at the end of the day. I don't want the glory, I don't want the fame. I just come in and be the best that I can be to help my team. It's like will versus motivation. And I think it's one of those things that falls in the category of it's just in your will. You don't need to be motivated to do it. You just go out there and do it every day because that's what you're bred to do.
We got a full house. Like it. I'll open by saying at least today our offensive coordinator is happy. In other days, our head coach has had to be happy. So at least we got a offender.
I've been happy every one.
Actually, the offensive coordinator. So, but no, Jack, we're here to talk about Brandin. Jack to have him, and we'll go from there. I'll let you go next, Sean.
Yeah. You know, I think the thing that makes this such a unique opportunity is clearly the production speaks for itself. You're talking about a guy over a 4-year career, has almost 4,000 yards. He's had over 7 touchdowns each of the last 3 seasons. You know, done a great job being an intricate part of New Orleans the first 3 years of his career, and then obviously a AFC Championship team with the Patriots this past year. But the thing that I think really stood out really to Les, myself, and our entire organization is not what type of player he is, but the feedback you got about him as a person. I'm hard-pressed to remember a player that's gotten so many positive things said about him from different people that he's been exposed to. So I think kind of in alignment with what we try to do and the players that we want in our building, you're talking about a special person and a special player. Clearly he's going to be a big part of our offense, being able to play our X receiver and do a variety of things. And we're very excited to have Brandin Cooks here with us on board.
I usually don't do this, but I have to second it. I can tell you I told Brandin, and I was honest when I told him, if my son could grow up to be half as respected as this guy was during the vetting process, I'd be a jacked father for sure. So that just lets you know what kind of kid this is.
Thank you. Thank you.
Man.
Yep, very good.
I'll start. Brandin, I'm Jim Hill, CBS Sports. Welcome to Los Angeles. How surprised are you to be in a Ram uniform now, and how much did you know about the Rams from last year?
Well, as far as being surprised, you know, it's part of the game, and I'm extremely blessed for this opportunity to be as part of a special organization that's, you know, from a distance been on the rise. You know, before I got here, I seen a young, hungry group of guys that is just out there going and playing for each other and just doing their best they can for each other to win games. So that's what I saw from a distance.
Can you guys go into a little bit, Les and Sean, just about maybe how this trade came together? Les, how far back were you kind of eyeing Brandin Cooks as a potential addition? And Sean, there was talk that you were at a coaching clinic with Bill Belichick recently. I'm wondering if that kind of helped kind of push this over the top a little bit?
I think it started probably before the 2017 season, probably at the Combine 2017, and he was a Saint at the time. And I do think, not sure if this was true, but New England had a first-round pick. We didn't, so I think they won the trade that way. So it started then, and obviously continued into this offseason, and made a phone call to the Patriots relatively early in the game, and we've been discussing it for a while.
Yeah, a lot of the same. It's been a good dialogue. I think the one thing, you know, the Patriots have been great to deal with. Les and Nick have done a great job kind of having that dialogue, and then fortunately myself and Coach Belichick, but really with the Patriots as a whole, they've been great to work with, you know, to be able to get this done, and you know, we're very happy on our end for sure.
Was that anything that made this happen, though, you and Bill?
You know, we had a chance to, you know, really just touch base before then. You know, we saw each other at the coaches clinic, but that wasn't anything that like closed the deal or anything like that. You know, it's a fun story, but you know, we just both happened to be there, and it was good seeing him at that.
I think I did text Sean, make sure you maybe mention something to Bill while you're there. Don't just talk football.
Hey, Brandon, Steve White with the NFL Network.
Yes.
Right here. Look, you've got to play with Drew Brees and Tom Brady. Now you get to play with Jared Goff. You've been working out with him. What's it like if by comparison, working out with Jared and also seeing the offense? You've been in two great offenses, but seeing what Sean does with his offense, now coming into that system as well.
Well, I've been fortunate to play with two great quarterbacks. Wouldn't trade it for the world those opportunities coming in as a young guy, playing with Drew and Tom, the guys that taught me the game as a young athlete, and then now being able to be with a guy like Jared. I'm extremely excited about the opportunity to be able to grow with a young guy. I'm young myself, to be able to start that rapport. This offseason, I think, is going to be extremely huge, and I look forward to it. I look forward to getting work right away. Absolutely.
Brandon, over here, kind of been a whirlwind for you the last year or so, getting traded twice. And I know business is going to take care of itself, but are you hopeful that this is now the permanent home? This is where you want to be long term? Well,
like you said, it's part of the game. It's the business of it. But so much respect for Bill and that organization on how they went about it. And now being here with Coach McVay and Les, it's a special opportunity. And to be closer to home, being back on the West Coast where the sun is shining every single day, you can't complain about that. And so as far as making his home, absolutely, I love to do that. And at the end of the day, that will take care of itself as well. I just want to come in, go to work, and do what I have to do to help this team win.
Sean, I know you guys had interest in Brandon, like you said, going back a year, but particularly when you knew that Sammy wasn't coming back or suspected it, did you know you wanted to go out and get somebody for that X spot? Was that a priority?
Yeah, I think it was. Les and really our coaching staff and our personnel staff, we've had great dialogue in terms of kind of how we wanted to be able to fill that void left by Sammy. And whether you're looking at it through the draft or some possible trades, credit to Les and being able to get that dialogue going. And kind of like what we said, we've been a fan of Brandon's game for a long time. He's played in two offenses that, I have a lot of respect for Sean Payton and what Coach Belichick and Josh McDaniels have done consistently. And so we're always studying their tape and even going back to when he and Mannion were balling back at Oregon State. So this is something that, he fits really kind of in any system. This guy can play, but I think specific to some of the things that we look for with the traits and the characteristics from our ex-receiver, being able to take the top shelf off the coverage, being able to win on some underneath ISOs when you're getting bump coverage. He's put that on tape, really over the last 4 years, and that was something that we were excited about. And when we had the opportunity to potentially acquire him, we wanted to be aggressive about, pursuing that.
Hey, Brandon, can you go into a little bit over here? Can you go into a little bit your throwing sessions with Jared Goff? Just maybe how that started, how often that takes place, and what has that been like?
Yeah, I don't know how that came about. Jared and I, we met a few times prior to this. We're fortunate enough to have the same agent, so we've been around each other in that aspect. I've seen him throw, and as far as getting together, we plan on doing that soon. So ask me in a couple weeks, and I'll let you know.
Yeah, it's a good story, but it didn't happen.
Les,
why would we ruin a good story for the truth?
He said this dynamic workout is really what put it over the top.
The facts don't sell.
Les, just the aggressiveness. You talked about the aggressiveness of making trades and doing things, but, trading away another first-round pick. If you could explain that, and then the perception that this is a pushing all the chips in to win in 2018, when we also see that you've got young players joining this roster. It seems like there's a little more of a long-term plan. Could you kind of explain, just with all the moves that you've made, the short and long-term plans?
I think, simply put, 2018 is important. We definitely want to repeat as NFC champions, but like you mentioned, I even think, Vincent, you may have written something this morning, a lot of the players we've acquired are young and, let's call it, have evolved to be in the prime of their careers. And we'd love to take advantage at over that, not just 18, but 19, 20, 21 and moving forward. And you're always going to have to look into the future and see how you adjust and manage situations. But I know starting with Kevin Demoff and Tony Pastores, they do an unbelievable job of managing the cap, and we have plenty of space over the next few years to, lock up these guys for the long term and then have this core together. And that's the goal. But, yeah, 2018 is important. 19 is very important. And I think Sean and I have been saying the whole time that, you know, guess what? It's 18, but we're still 11 wins behind the 17 season. So just because we've had let's call it a flashy 2018 offseason doesn't mean that we're any better this year than we were last year, because we're 11 games behind last year's teams. But it's up to us to start here in the next couple weeks like we did last year and make sure we win 12 or more.
Les and Sean, with the addition of Brandin, we're going to have Sue in here tomorrow. How is this affecting what's happening with Aaron Donald? And what's kind of the situation with him?
Again, we know that we've got good dialogue with their agents. I'll keep all of that in-house, but none of it affects Aaron Donald. I mean, he's one of 53, and as I've said plenty of times before, we've got that budgeted into the budget. We didn't do all of this and forget about him for sure.
And Brandin, what do you feel like you bring to the Rams? And you've seen it from afar. I'm guessing you've probably studied it a little bit. So what do you feel like you bring specifically to the offense?
I think just adding to another special room and a special offense, not just from a player standpoint, but character-wise, and just coming in here and just having everyone else's interests before mine, and doing what I have to do to help everyone else be their best, and vice versa. Hopefully they will do the same, so we can go out there and play together for one another to win games. So I think that's the biggest thing I'm excited about, to just come into a locker room like this and fit right in a family-oriented space.